Welcome back to So You Really Want to Learn Latin, and today we are going to be looking at 3 irregular verbs. They're all very similar, and they are volo, meaning I wish, nolo, meaning I do not wish, and malo, meaning I prefer. Now, you've learnt a few irregular verbs along the way, so you should be okay with this. As I say, all 3 are very similar. And once you've got the hang of one of them, you'll find that the others sort of follow suit. Okay, so we're going to start with volo. Now, principal parts: volo, vele, volui. Okay, it doesn't have a fourth principal part, and it doesn't have a passive. Okay, and present tense, here we go. So it is volo, vis, vult, volumus, vultis, volunt. Okay, now I'm grinning as I say it because it is a bit peculiar. But, there we go. So once you've learnt that, everything else we do today should be sort of bearable. Okay, so volo, vis, vult, volumus, vultis, volunt. Okay, now the future tense, basically it's going like rego, so we're going volam, voles, volet, volemus, voletis, volent. Okay, and the imperfect tense, volebam, volebas, volebat, volebamus, volebatis, volebant. Okay, right, so as you can see, really it's only the present tense that is the problem, child. The future, if you know it's going like rego, am, az is not a problem. Imperfect, abam, abas, abat, not a problem. You've heard me say this before, you really don't need to worry about the perfect tense so long as you've learnt the principal parts. So back we go to see those principal parts. Volo, vele, volui. So the perfect tense of volo is volui, voluisti, voluit, voluimus, voluistis, voluerunt. Okay, couldn't really be easier. Okay, so that's volo for us. Now we'll just whiz down the other 2 now as well, just so we've got them. Nolo is actually just a contraction of non volo. Okay, so it means I do not wish, or I am not willing. I should have said volo means I wish, or I am willing. Okay, I'm willing to go to war. I am willing to sell my boat. Okay, right, so nolo, I do not wish, or I am not willing, is going nolo, non vis, non vult, nolumus, non vultis, nolunt. Okay, now again, I'm slightly grinning because it is peculiar. But if you remember that this is a contraction of non volo, those kind of double worders in the middle of that shouldn't really spook you too much. I mean, you might wish it went non volo at the beginning, but it doesn't. It goes nolo, then non vis, non vult, then a kind of contraction, nolumus, back to normal, non vultis, contraction again, nolunt. Okay, now, a bit stressful, but once we're through that, future tense, not a problem. No lam, no lace, no let, no lamus, no latis, no lent. Nothing funny about that at all. Okay, it's going like rego, and it's an am, a, zeta. And the imperfect, no labam, no labas, no labat, no labamus, no labatis, no labunt. No problems. Perfect tense, normal rules apply. There is nothing funny about the perfect tense of any Latin verb. You just need to know the principal parts. Principal parts of nolo, if you remember, nolo, nole, nolui. So the perfect tense, nolui, noluisti, noluit, noluimus, noluistis, noluerunt. And the other 2 tenses, obviously, just simple. Noluero, nolueris, noluerit, and so on. And nolueram, nolueras, noluerat, and so on. Okay, so easy peasy peasy. And finally, just for the sake of completeness, malo means I prefer. Principal parts, malo, male, malui. And this one goes, malo, marvis, marwult, marlumus, marwultis, marlunt. Okay, so that's a sort of, I've never really thought about this, but I think I'm doing this on the hoof. It's a contraction of magis wallow. I want more, so I prefer. First time I've ever thought about that, but that is what's going on here. So you've got the kind of wallow bit at the end and the magis coming on the front for more, and you end up sometimes contracting, sometimes not. A little bit like nolo. The only difference being that you never get it as two separate words. So malo, marvis, marwult, marlumus, marwultis, marlunt. Okay, future, marlam, marlace, marlet, marlemus, marletis, marlent. Imperfect, marlebum, marlebas, marlebat, marlebamus, marlebatis, marlebunt. And the perfect stem tense is entirely regular, so long as you know the principal parts. So marlo, marle, marlui. Right, off we go. Marlui, marluisti, marluit, marluimus, marluistis, marluerunt. Okay? And future perfect and pluperfect would just be aroarisarit and aramarasarat on that stem. Okay, so there we have it. 3 irregular verbs. Wallow, I wish, or I want, or I am willing. Nolo, I do not wish, I do not want, I do not wish, I do not want, I am not willing, I am unwilling. And malo, I prefer. Okay, now just before we do some practice with those, I'm just going to tell you one little thing, which is we've learnt in Latin to use the imperative, okay, to say love your neighbour, rule your country, okay, using the imperative, either singular or plural. Singular if you're speaking to one person, plural if you're speaking to more than one person. Okay, so far so good. What I've never told you about is how to say do not do something. Okay? Now, you may never have kind of wondered how to do that, but I'm now going to tell you how to do it. Okay? And the way you give a negative command in Latin is to use the imperative of this new verb that we've just learned, nolo. Okay, and then follow it by the infinitive of the verb you actually want to use. So, if you want to say, do not love, and you're talking to one person, you need the imperative of nolo, which is, and I'm going to tell you because it's not guessable really, it's noli, okay? And then you follow that with an infinitive. So do not love is noli amare. And if you're speaking to more than one person, it's nolite amare. Okay? Now what it literally means is be unwilling to love. Okay? And that's how in Latin you say do not love. So if I was speaking to Marcus and I was saying don't walk, Marcus, I would say noli ambulare, Marke. And if I was speaking to Marcus and his friends and I was calling them boys, I would say nolite ambulare, pueri. Okay? So that's called a prohibition in Latin. It's a negative imperative, and now you know how to do it. Noli or nolite, depending on whether singular or plural, followed by the present infinitive of the verb. Okay, right, bit of practice. Let's whack through a few English into Latin. We are now in chapter 3 of the trusty book, and we'll just do a couple from exercise 3.1. First one, he wishes to speak. Okay, now just for the sake of form, we're going to put the main verb last and the infinitive in front of it. So he wishes to speak loqui wolt. Okay, so there you've got wolt from wallow, wis wolt, he wishes, followed by the present infinitive of the verb to speak, loquor, loqui, locutusum. Okay, so loqui wolt, he wishes to speak. They are unwilling to flee. Okay, to flee, fugere, and they are unwilling, nolunt. So fugere, nolunt. We prefer to remain here. Okay, so here, hic, to remain, manere, and we prefer malumus. So hic manere malumus. And we'll just do one more. We've got Hannibal had wished to enter Rome. Hannibal Romam intrare, and he had wanted voluerat. Okay, Hannibal Romam intrare voluerat. Okay, so pretty easy little things. Okay, and then just a couple, in Latin, if we go down into exercise 3.2 and we have a little look at number 5, Fabius Agmensum trans patriam ducere nolebat. Okay, Fabius, we'd probably say Fabius. Fabius nolebat, was not wishing or did not wish, ducere, to lead, back to find the object, agmensuum. Now, agmen is the Latin for a column, a military column. Agmensuum, his column, trans patriam, across the country. And finally, we'll do one of these prohibitions. Number 10, nolite legere libros quos poeta mihi dedit. Okay, nolite legere libros quos poeta mihi dedit. Do not read libros, the books, quos poeta mihi dedit, which the poet gave to me. Don't read the books which the poet gave to me. Right, well, that's 3 really useful little irregular verbs. Wallow and nolo, incredibly common verbs. You'll see them all over the place. Malo, very much less so, but nice to know. Okay, hope that all made sense. Next time we'll be looking at double questions, okay, and a little bit more on the locative case. Okay, so look forward to that. Keep up the good work on the Latin. Keep working your way through these exercises. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and I will see you back here very soon.